Hi, I'm your host, Matt Brum, and we're here at Oxford Community Television. And we're going to take a look inside here, and we're going to talk to some folks to see what they do and to see how they take the programming that you're watching, how they put it all together and actually get it to where it's in a viewable format. So come follow me, we're going to see how it's locally grown. I'm here with Station Manager Terry Stiles, and got some questions for you.
Okay.
All right.
Shoot.
So typically we ask, what are the type of things you do around here? We may have to say, what don't you do around here?
I
right?
don't clear snow in the driveway.
Okay. Okay.
I don't shovel the sidewalks. So all of us do about the same thing. We all wear many hats. There isn't one of us that doesn't do something over the other. If the bathroom needs cleaning, I'll do that, although we do have somebody that does that. But yeah, I do everything, including try to figure out the budget, try to figure out everybody's hours, make sure everybody's getting equal hours according to what they're doing. So yeah.
Okay,
everything.
so a lot on your plate. So when we look at Station Manager, we look at OCTV, how long have you been with OCTV?
In one capacity or the other, starting with my internship, 23 years.
23 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Intern first, then volunteer, then employee, then board member, and then back to employee.
Okay.
And I've been manager for about a year.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know you like the place. You've been here for 23 years,
Yeah,
right?
right. Well, yes. I love Oxford. Oxford
great.
is in my heart.
That's awesome. Now, when we look at 23 years of employment here doing OCTV, what brought you into this industry? What was that thing that said, this is what I want to do?
So I fell in love with radio when I was in high school. And then I got married and had kids and ended up in mental health. And finally decided enough is enough. And a friend of mine said, you really should get into radio. So I started looking into Specs Howard.
Okay.
And I was going there for radio, and then I found TV, and I was hooked to video.
You were hooked, huh?
It's so much easier to tell the story with video, right? It's like, to me, editing especially is like coloring. You're painting the picture with their words and with their facial expressions.
A picture's worth 1,000 words,
it
right?
Sure is, right. And everyone has a story. I've spent my adult life in Oxford, either living here or working or both. Actually, when I got out of school, my nephew's wife was an editor of a newspaper, and she hired me there for just 2 weeks. She needed help writing. Okay. 5 years later.
Oh, wow, 5 years later.
Finally went back to OCTV, but I was volunteering here at the same time.
Okay.
Because, like I said, I'll go back to that, everybody has a story.
Yeah.
And I know so many people around this area, and I know so many issues that I just couldn't bring myself to leave at all.
Sure.
I probably could have done a lot more in Detroit or Flint or out of the area. There was a lot going on the other side of the state at that time. But no, this is my home.
Awesome. So my last question, you answered it beautifully already.
Sorry.
My question was, what do you love about your job? And it sounds like you just have this passion for being able to take information, take video, take all this information and just create a story out of it to be able to tell people. Tell people
who we are in this community. I always say that we are the front porch of the community. We're here if people want to stop by and say hi and tell their story, or of course we can see what's going on and we'll tell the story for them. We've always been that. We're also the recorders of the history of this community, and no more important than the last year.
Sure, of course.
I'll try to get by that. And the community's in my heart, the people are in my heart, and promoting this community. It's such a lovely community.
It really is.
So
that's great. I mean, to be able to hear, you can just hear the passion exuding from you as you're talking here. So,
and I love our team too.
Yes,
the people on our team.
23 years of employment. I think you have to kind of like the people you're working with, right?
Yeah. Everybody here is amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So, last question, kind of off the cuff. Favorite flavor of ice cream?
That's a great question.
Yeah, well, what was it?
Because it's really weird. Okay, it's mint chip
Okay,
with butterscotch topping.
Okay,
The only
so
way
like
to
mint
eat it.
chocolate chip? Is that the same as mint
Yes,
chip? Okay.
mint chocolate chip with butterscotch topping.
Butterscotch topping.
Only
Wow.
way to eat it, and
Only
from
way to eat it.
Cook's Dairy.
Okay,
So
from
I'm going
Cook's
to
Dairy.
continue to
Well,
promote the
yeah.
community.
Oh,
yeah.
that's great. Thank you
Funny
so much.
question. Yeah, thank you.
For answering
Thanks
questions.
for being here.
Oh, for sure.
Hi, I'm Dave Kenney, and I'm the office manager at Oxford Community Television.
Perfect. And how did you get started in public access?
Well, a long time ago when the earth was green, a person that I worked with at EDS was the manager at OCTV and said, Dave, what are you doing with yourself? So I hired in, and I was doing videos, and eventually I worked into this job, and now I'm the office manager.
So tell us a little bit about how the videos, how you guys recorded the videos when you were actually recording them.
Oh, with stone tablets. No, but anyhow, back then we recorded directly to DVDs. We hooked the cameras up at the location, fed the input directly into a DVD recorder, had titles already ready for it, came back, dropped it on the desk, and it was ready to go.
That's awesome.
The quality wasn't as good because it was a lower resolution than we use now, but it was fast.
Save time, right? So, Dave, what would you say your favorite thing about this job is?
Favorite thing is always a challenge. I deal with budgets. I deal with having to procure equipment, and if necessary, I go local and buy stuff. We prepare, like I said, the budgets and what have you. We put together all the documentation that the Oxford Cable Commission needs for their meetings, publish it, send it out, deal with all kinds of vendors. Some stuff you just can't buy local. So we go off to places like B&H and eBay and Amazon. But it's pretty interesting, actually.
And how about your news segments?
The news segments, I do, with Oxford News This Week program, I do two segments. One is called Auto Talk, and I deal mainly with the automobile industry. I tend to focus on what's new in the industry. What's the new piece of metal coming out that all the automakers are really proud of? And the other segment is Science in the News. I try to keep the segments short because of the limitation on the programs itself, but try to keep it interesting and not too dense because people will go, oh boy. I try to keep it pretty short and sweet and get the point across.
If there's a skill that you could develop or harness that you don't have currently, what would it be?
Better looks.
Is that a skill?
A deeper voice. You work with what you got.
That's right. And is there anything you'd like to say to the Oxford communities, Addison and Leonard?
Well, the big thing is we're here. A lot of people don't know that we are at this location at the Parks and Rec on Seymour Lake Road. We used to be in the garage over at M24, but now we're here. It's a much nicer facility, and I would invite anyone that wants to come in to tour our facility. We also provide an access for people who want to do their own programs, and we're trying to get that message out and make us more visible.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time, Dave. I appreciate it.
Good talking to you, Joe.
Hi, I'm Chuck Cameron. I work with Oxford Community TV. I've been involved in here for about a year, maybe a little less, and it's a great gig. Great people, a good opportunity. I host a program called My Life, so I get to learn the stories about a lot of people that I've never known before. It's a great opportunity.
So Chuck, how'd you get involved with the public access station?
We live in Oxford, and I got involved here because, first of all, I like to do some voiceover work, and I looked and realized that there's a station right in town. I came and knocked on the door and talked to the people here, and they said, well, I don't know if we need voiceover, but we do have a need for somebody who could do an interview program. And I have been in sales for the last, I don't know, maybe 40 years. So I do a little bit of interviewing normally. So it seemed like a good fit that I hadn't planned on. And that's turned out to be something that I really enjoy doing.
What would you say your favorite aspect of working here is?
I believe the best part about this job, other than hanging around with really good people who do technical stuff that I've never known about, is I get to meet people and understand who they are. I get to learn about their life, and I get to kind of uncover for me and for the viewers things about them that nobody ever knew. It reminds me that everybody I see out there, everybody we see at Meyer or in town, walking down the street, everybody has a story. If we just take time to listen, probably be amazed at what we could learn.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the community?
Yeah, two things. Number one, I've lived here 18 years. And up until pretty recently, I didn't pay attention to the Oxford Community TV because I didn't spend a lot of time on cable TV. Since I got this job, obviously I have a different opinion of cable TV. But I encourage people to watch the programs and then pass on to somebody that they know that there's an interesting program about this or that or the other thing. I think word of mouth is powerful in any way to market things. And if we don't tell other people about good stuff, how are they going to know? So that's my request. Tell somebody and then tell somebody else, and eventually billions of people will be watching Oxford Community TV. And that's what I believe.
Chuck, what's your favorite color and why?
My favorite color, wow, that's good. I think brick. Why? Because I love brick walls.
Perfect. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Just think, what if we didn't have local TV and radio? Where would I go for local sports, local politics, a mayor, city council, stuff that affects me every day? How about health? Who's covering things that endanger my family? I need to know now, as it happens, from sources I trust, people in my community. No agenda, no bias like you find on cable and social media. Just facts. For news I can trust, I stay local. Support your local station. Text TV to 52886 today.
Well, I'm here with Dan Zweiss of OCTV, who Dan handles the producing, the videography, and the editing of what you see on the station. And I wanted to find out from Dan, first off, tell me a little bit more about the roles that you do here. We named them, but explain a little bit more about those.
Well, you got your videography. That's operating the camera, behind the camera, pressing the red button, making the camera roll.
Very important.
Very important. Without pressing that red button, you're not recording anything.
Got it.
So, camera operator for multiple projects. Let's see, then we go on to editing. You take the footage back to the station, dump it into we use Apple computers, and we use Final Cut Pro, bring it into Final Cut Pro, and we edit the footage that we shot with the camera.
Okay.
Pretty simple at that point.
And then how about, so then the editing of it, you just explained. Now, how long have you been at these roles? So when you look at, or not even at these roles, but with OCTV, how long have you been here?
Started with OCTV in, the spring of 2014.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem like that long ago, but it has been.
All right, so 8 years.
8 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And before that, I was at another, I was in the Romeo market doing the same type of thing. Before that, I went to Specs Howard to learn how to do all that. And before that, it was more of a hobby, sitting at home, taking a VCR and a camcorder, taking footage that I recorded, dubbing it all together with music, and showing friends.
Got it. So that's really from when you got interested kind of in this field, it was really just doing home videos, kind of got a taste for it. And then when you looked at what the next career path was from there, it was Specs Howard.
Yep.
And then from there led one thing into another. Now you're here at OCTV.
Pretty much.
Perfect. What's your favorite thing about your job? When you look at all those things, and not necessarily, it doesn't have to be one of those three things that your job titles are, but is there anything all-encompassing to OCTV that makes it, what is your favorite thing about coming to work?
I do a lot of sports. My main thing is covering sports. I cover high school sports from September all the way to the end of the school year in June. And we cover probably over 100 sporting events. So one would think probably sports.
Sure.
That's not really the case, though.
Okay.
Not the biggest sports fan, but I do cover the sports.
Sure.
So it is fun, but I'd say the creativity of making making like a little promo come to life.
Sure.
Here's the information that we need to put into this 30-second piece, bring life to it.
Yeah.
Shape it.
Yeah, starting with an idea and then taking that idea into actual information that then you actually put on display, and then to see the final outcome of it.
Yep. Put some music behind it.
Yeah. How long would you say, just for our viewers, how long does something like that take? If you're doing a sporting event, you obviously gather the information. And that's one thing that I normally don't even think about is you see a finished product and you don't realize how much time goes into it. So say you do a sporting event, you've got to go back and do editing on it. Obviously, you got your producing side of it. How long does that take?
That I would add probably another 6-7 hours on top of the event itself.
Okay.
So you got a game that starts at 6 o'clock. You got to be there probably at 5. Start setting up. Another 20 minutes, 30 minutes after the game to break down. Take it back to the studio. Put it into Final Cut. Depending on how much footage you have, it might be a straight shot. One like our soccer is usually one camera.
Okay.
Roughly. So there's not a whole lot of editing there. You got games like basketball and football. You got multiple cameras, so there's a little bit more.
You've got your timeouts. You've got your halftime. You've got things that you need to kind of cut out of there, maybe. Okay.
So it's a little more time consuming. So overall, probably, like I said, 6 to 7 hours.
Okay. Now, does your clock stop once you're done filming and you work on it the next day, or is it like we need to have this thing done? We're going to stay until it's done and actually have a finished product.
Not too often. There's been a couple times that we did that where we took the footage of a game and showed it at the 24th Street Tavern the next night.
Oh wow!
So
okay, yeah, that's something.
Quick turnaround.
Sure.
That doesn't happen too often. Usually it's like when it's done, it's done. Some basketball and football, we've been using a switcher, recording, editing right there on the spot, sometimes even live streaming. So that usually has a pretty quick turnaround, and it's up and running the next day.
All right, Dan, so we talked about high school sports. Obviously, high school sports has a season, and then they're done. So what comes after that? Do you guys just sit back and relax and wait until the next year, or what do we do?
Most people kind of think that, and they're kind of surprised when we tell them, no, we keep going. Sometime in early May, Parks and Rec, here we are at Seymour Lake Park, they have their own softball league, starting as young as T-ball, going all the way to senior league. And that starts, like I said, early May and runs till about end of July. And there's probably 2-3 games per week. And if we wanted to cover more, we probably could. Sometimes you come out here, there's 4 parks or 4 fields, and they got games going at all.
Yeah.
So that's what we do
okay.
after high school.
Got it, got it. So that keeps you guys busy?
Pretty busy.
So other than the softball, t-ball, baseball, I see we've got some tennis courts over here. I know we've got, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stuff here. Are you taking footage of all these other areas, or is it mainly kind of the softball, the baseball?
Mainly softball. However, the way I kind of shoot it to have to get the park in the backdrop. That's also part of the game. It's just not the game, it's the park and the activity going on in the park.
Got it,
if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense.
Hot air balloon floating in the background.
Sure.
You got the disc golf, if you see that in the background sometimes.
So constantly busy. So we talked about the high school sports occurs during that high school sports season, but once that's done, these guys jump right into the recreational sports that occur behind us here at Seymour Lake Park. Besides the sports that OCTV covers, what else do you guys do that may take place indoors?
Darn good question, because OCTV is on 24 hours a day.
Right.
That's a lot of time to fill. What else do we cover? Well, we cover the community. We cover pretty much everything that goes on in Oxford, and even outside of Oxford. We got Addison and Leonard and Lake Orion and Metamora. We kind of cover a little bit of everything. We got meetings. You got your township meetings and village meetings, all sorts of meetings. Parades. Parades. Got to have a parade. This past weekend, they had the ladies' night out, I believe, and we sent a small crew walking around the town, filming the activities on the street. And we have our own shows as well. It's just not the events in the area. We have we have our own news program. We have a cooking show. We have yoga.
Now, where would people tune into those? They're hearing us talk about this. They're hearing all these things that you do here at OCTV. Where do you direct them to?
We are on many platforms now that streaming is kind of taking over. We are just not on your local cable channel. We are on, starting there, we are on Charter, Channel 91, 191 here in Oxford, and 99 on AT&T. But then we are on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We are on something new called Rumble, which is basically YouTube. And then we are streaming live on your Roku and I believe Apple Fire TV.
Oh, great.
Yes.
So plenty of platforms that can be seen, that can be viewed to watch all the amazing things that you all do here.
It's kind of hard not to be able to view us these days.
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, last question. So we'll kind of a rapid fire question. Figure because of the industry that you're in, you know, thought of a bunch of different questions, but I think the best one for you is going to be, what's your favorite movie? If you could pick, and it's probably hard, if you could pick one movie, what would you say is your favorite movie and why?
Usually a question like that, what's your favorite? Whatever pops in your mind the first, wouldn't that generally be the...
Sure.
Yeah. So it's probably maybe a two-way tie, maybe a three-way tie between Fargo, 96, Pulp Fiction, 94, or Fear and Loathing, I think, 98.
Okay. What specifically about those? If you could put the characteristics of each of those together and say one thing that I pull from each of those that makes those kind of my favorite, what do you think it is? Is it the producing, the editing, the...
hard to say what Pulp Fiction really changed for several years after Pulp Fiction came out. It kind of changed the way most movies were shot.
It really did.
They all kind of tried to pull this and that from that movie, so was it editing? Was it the way it was just shot? I don't know about what it is about that. Fargo, the dialogue.
Okay.
They took that movie. It was shot somewhere up there in North Dakota, and it really, you feel like you're living up there in North Dakota when you watch it. So that's good stuff. And then
Very cool.
Fear and Loathing, that's just out there.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
It is my lucky day. I'm on camera first thing.
Yes, exactly.
What's going on, eh?
We're making a behind the scenes.
Oh my
You're
goodness.
going to be interviewed about behind the
Oh
scenes.
my goodness. Okay.
Surprise!
Hello everyone, I am Becky Banis. I'm a volunteer anchor here at OCTV and have been since about 2016, and so I'm still hanging in there and loving every minute of it. So when I started the OCTV, I actually met them through my daughter. She played high school sports at Oxford High School, and I loved the stuff that guys did for us. It was a great service for us, and after she graduated, I didn't know what to do. I was a sports mom with no sports, so I talked to Bill and them, and they asked me to come on and be a volunteer announcer, so that's how I got my start.
Awesome. And what would you say your favorite thing is about being a volunteer here and announcer at OCTV?
So I really love being here at OCTV for a few reasons. The crews are always great. I love Dan. I love the guys behind the cameras. I'd love to see the end product. But I think for me, it's a way of giving back to the high school and to the young kids in the community. That way they get to have their sports on TV, and their grandparents that are out of town or maybe aren't quite well enough to come see them live can get on YouTube or the OCTV.org and check out their kids' games too. So it's just kind of, for me, a way to give back to the community, and I think that's fun. Hey, it's Becky Banis here with OCTV, and tonight we're out at Seymour Lake Park in Oxford, and we have a 12U softball game between the Michigan Blackhawks and the Oakland Cobras. So stick around and watch the game with us.
What's your favorite sport?
That's a trick question. My favorite sport for me is softball. I've been playing softball since I was a 8-year-old kid with my dad out in the yard, and my bucket list was to be able to play on the same team as my daughter, Sherilyn Banis, CJ, a lot of you guys know her. And that's what we do on Tuesday evenings out in Waterford. We play slow pitch softball together. So even at 54 years old, I'm still out there hanging with the young dogs. So it's a lot of fun. So just kind of in closing, I'd like to encourage anyone that has ever thought it would be a cool thing to come in behind the camera and announce for some of the kids' games. Give it a try. I didn't know what I was doing. I was a little shy, but now I enjoy it, and it's a great service to the community and to the kids, and I think you should come out and give it a try.